We welcome you into another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on a Thursday afternoon as we get ready for game day at Beaver Stadium on Saturday, Penn State and Ohio U. And let me just try this real quick. Nope. Let me try that. Nope. All right.
Glad we talked loud enough.
Yeah, that's all. A couple things I love this time of year. And obviously you have the NFL season, regular season starting tonight. You have the first home game for Penn State, another full slate of college football this weekend. The U.S. Open, that match last night between two guys, and I don't follow tennis, but I never heard of either one of them, that ended at 2:30 this morning. I got up to go to the bathroom last night at about 2 o'clock, and I'm just like, I just flip around. I'm like, oh, they're showing the U.S. Open highlights. This is cool. And then I'm like, oh, this is a silly mistake. They left the live on.
Wow.
And it's like, and then I'm just scrolling through because when I wake up, I can't get back to sleep, and my mind starts, and I'm like, wait a second, this actually is live.
Wow.
But this is just such a fun time of the year. And, for those of you that have Major League Baseball teams, that would be a cool thing to be in, the pennant races and everything else that's surrounding that.
Pretty good.
That's what I've heard about these things.
They actually could go to the playoffs.
Well, I don't know. You might be too young.
So May in State College. In Pittsburgh.
Well, when I was a kid, this shows you how old I am.
True.
Pittsburgh had a professional baseball team. This is back in the 70s. I think the baseball went away in the 80s or something. But they actually used to. They were called the Pirates. And they were actually a really, really terrific baseball team. Had some really good players, and they were a lot of fun to watch.
Team. Dr. J was on that team, right?
Yes, indeed.
No, so I completely. I mean, I love this time of year because I was sitting there last night and I did not see the U.S. Open because I was watching the Phillies game and I'm like, it's football season. You know what I mean? It's like when I'm a huge hockey fan. But I can't get into hockey until football's over. So when football's on, it's like it is
like
what
passionately.
It is.
Yep.
So somebody asked me the other day, Ironhead, and you not asked me. Somebody told me the other day, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool. So you're talking about the 70s in Pittsburgh, right? All right, 4 Super Bowls, 2 World Series. So look at like the early 70s to mid 80s in the state of Pennsylvania. It's unbelievable.
That's what I grew up with. That's what I'm like, well, no, this is the way life is. This is the way life's supposed to be.
Phillies are in 2 World Series. Pirates win 2 World Series. Phillies win 1.
Yep.
Sixers win a World Series. Steelers win 4 Super Bowls. The Eagles are in a Super Bowl. It's like, holy crap, man. That has to be the heyday.
And you had the same players for the Steelers and the Pirates year after year. Basically, you had the same. I mean, Chuck Tanner was my manager.
Correct.
Chuck Noll was my pro coach. Joe Paterno was my college coach. And no questions asked. You knew all of that stuff.
I did have to do some research on the Steelers yesterday.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Penn State alum. I'm Penn State happy, good guy, this and that. But I was going to get mad if Franco was the first ever retired jersey, and he's not.
No.
I thought at the time I was like, he better not be the first because it was the guy from the 50s.
Stotner?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Ernie Statler. But then I said, well, if Joe Green is not the first or have his number retired, something's wrong there. So it is retired. So I'll give the Steelers a little credit for that one. And the timing of it's great too.
It is.
I didn't know the Immaculate Reception was on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
How many Christmas presents did that? Christmas wishes were answered that night.
Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah, so, my morning was spun around the last few days. It's like, so you're watching the U.S. Open, right?
Yep.
I go to the bathroom one of my 52 times because we're almost 50. You're 50.
Yeah.
So I'm up there, and I'm like, I just bought a new grill for my tailgate. That's I'm sitting there thinking about my grill for tailgating, and I'm just like,
we'll have to stop by then.
I'm just laughing, and I'm like looking up reviews and how to clean it, season it, and this and that. I mean, I called my tailgate partners today, and I said, hey, I got a good idea. We could do this, and why don't we clean it there? Because I have a Blackstone grill in my backyard, and I just clean it after I get done with it. And like, it just depends on how it drains. Just depends on how it drains.
Yep.
So, and it's a griddle. We didn't go with the grill. We went with the griddle. So we have the flat top. So it's very good. We're very much looking forward to pimping that up this year. So,
well, we'll have to.
I got a lot of people coming in. I got Tennessee people coming in, New Jersey people coming in, New York people, Philadelphia people. That's going to be a
Tennessee
mayhem.
people. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they bring stuff that should not be bought across state lines. It begins with a moon and ends with a shine. Yes. And I say, where'd you buy this? They go, you don't worry about where we bought it. Just know that it's from Uncle Jesse. So
there you go.
Yeah. So this is the first. I mean, I know we don't like opening on the road, but it's sort of pretty good when you got a game under our belt right now going into our home opener type of thing. Very much looking forward to it the whole weekend. So it's very good weather. I didn't talk about it Tuesday because we had such a good show, and I got to give you some credit.
Yeah,
you did a hell of an interview.
Wow,
Pat was very forthcoming in everything he was saying. But it was a good interview.
I will tell you,
it's almost like you did this for a living.
From a distance, I was impressed with him. I will say, I don't know all of the obviously inner machinations of what's going on behind the scenes and all of that, but man, does that dude come across as just a genuine good human being. And boy, he sure seems to answer everything forthright. I just it feels like we're getting back to more and different personality. I'm not comparing the personalities, but more of a hands-on approach like Tim Curley had in terms of interacting with the coaches and the athletes on their terms. And listen, this isn't I'm not looking to insult Sandy Barber here. There's different management styles, but she was insular. I mean, there's no question when you look at the bureaucracy that was established under her, guidance.
Sure.
And it was difficult, I think, for people to feel that connection. Tim Curley would go to practices on a regular basis for all of the sports, all 31. Right. I mean, we would see him at wrestling practice, throughout the season, almost weekly, if not weekly. I mean, he was that frequent of a visitor.
Coaching over here. I mean, you're here all the time.
And I like Pat's approach. I like his style, and I just like the aura that he gives off. I just think it's the right fit at the right time for Penn State. And and I was talking to a friend last night. I'm like, different circumstances, obviously, and different positions and all that, but I will go to my grave believing that Bill O'Brien was just the right guy at the right time. Like that is who Penn State needed, and whether it was divine intervention or whatever, it was just the right person for that job in that situation. And listen, I think Penn State is in like all of college athletics is in some treacherous waters here in terms of the best way to navigate it. And it just it feels 100% like they have the right person steering the ship right now.
I completely agree, and he's so easy to talk to and a genuine guy. Ex-athlete, you could tell he's still playing. I mean, just that picture I was talking about him on the sideline. He is so into it. Oh, when I broed out with him, so I went to the State College quarterback welcome back dinner a month ago. Whatnot, and I looked at him and he was sweating. I said, he's one of us. And I'm looking around, and he's like, can you believe that? How are these people not sweating? And he's like, these little people, older people, younger people, they're not sweating. And he goes, how are they not sweating? And I'm like, I don't know. As I'm wiping sweat off my head. So, he and I get along, but he understands the athletes, and as hardcore as we are in this and that. I mean, they sit there and say we grew up at a different time and we were raised by different people that were raising kids now, and he's really into the whole mental health issues and stuff like that. So he is listening to these guys, and there is so much more pressure on these guys than I had. I'm sorry, there is. I mean,
Well, it's just a different, it's a different world.
It's ridiculous the amount of pressure these kids are under.
Yeah.
Now, they are putting themselves out there on social media, and then if you're going to do that, you have to expect to be ridiculed at times. It's not all, and I don't think some people can handle being ridiculed at times. But it's about growing up and stuff like that. But Kale is, you can tell me this, he's very big on the mental health, correct?
Yeah.
I believe that he is listening to Kale. I mean, Kale's pretty successful what he's done, so why wouldn't you try to use some of his coaching styles in other places and in your department? So I think he listens to the players. The players like him and trust him. We trust him, but we're not pooping. In no way, shape, or form are we pooping on Sandy Barber, because it was a weird damn time when she got here.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't ask that on anybody or wish that on anybody with what she walked into. And when did Dave leave? If do you remember?
It would be 20.
Dave Joyner we're talking about. So he hired Bill. But
Yeah.
did he also hire James?
20. No.
Sandy hired James. Chris, Sandy hired James or Joyner?
Would have been Joyner's last act. It would have been his last hire. Yeah, because he would have left. Yeah, correct.
So Sandy got here at just at the crossroads of where we're going to be. Bill had salvaged the program, but we were at the ass end of all those sanctions and stuff like that. So that wasn't an easy time to do anything.
No. And I'm just excited about what he brings to the table and just his approach. Yeah, no, but I think his approach is the right approach for this school at this time.
She was a good person at that time, and I think that he is the person right now for this time. I love the fact that he listens. He listens to the coaches and listens to people and stuff like that, and he also understands that there's a lot of stuff here that needs rebooted, fixed, cleaned up, built up. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. He understands that. He's just trying to get the whole grasp of everything right now. And it is funny. I don't know if you know what the bus ride's like, but you don't know what the bus ride is like.
Not really.
If you talk to any ex-football player in Penn State, it's the one thing that they are going to say. It's the number one thing is that bus ride. It is the most unbelievable experience, and it is just outstanding. And I could not wait and I told him I had a drink with him after, or he didn't have a drink, but I had a drink or three afterwards. And I said to him, I said, listen, I'm going to get a call from you 15 minutes after that bus trip. And I know you're going to be like, oh my God. And I just know the way our fans are and how and then walking into this environment. He played in Indiana. It's not exactly the greatest environment in the world to play. I mean, it's a horrible, tough place to play for an environment. And as a home player, it has to be even worse, getting fired up and you have no fan support and stuff like that. So this will all be new to him, but I can't wait for him to experience and just move this program going forward, how he's going to lead us through all of this. So looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, and I am as far as the game itself here on Saturday, everybody is presuming a win, and I'm right with you. But to me, as important, I won't say more important, because the win is pretty doggone important. You got to get that under your belt and take care of business. But there are a few areas. I mean, you want to see improvement across the board, but there are a few areas that they have really got to work to clean up here. And there's a couple of things that I'm really, really curious to see. Number one is still the offensive line, but what combinations we see here now on Saturday, especially in that first and second quarter. Hopefully the game is pretty in hand by the time the second half hits. But I want to see if that offensive line looks like it's progressing. And listen, obviously you're taking a step down in competition, so it might be tough to measure. You're certainly expecting them to get over 100 yards rushing in this game. If they don't do that on Saturday, it may be a pretty long season. I know it.
14 straight games.
So, without a 100-yard rusher, I'm saying as a team, they didn't even get 100 yards as a team against Purdue. But yes, I think they'll get a 100-yard individual rusher as well. And yes,
Do you think the streak's over, huh?
I do think the streak ends here on Saturday. But I also want to see what what adjustments they make with the running game, meaning not just that offensive line, but with the running back. That they have to change some things up here, right? I mean, this is the fan of me talking, but you cannot go out there with the same type of game plan, right, and expect different results. And I don't mean, again, they'll get more yards against Ohio, and hopefully they break off a couple big runs. But I'm talking about looking at the big picture, long-term success. They've got to vary some things with what they're doing with the running game, starting with, again, where and how they're lining the backs up. They've got to get those guys in space and give them, and the two freshmen in particular, you've got to give them an opportunity to go make big plays for you. And I just don't know that they're I'm not saying the backs are blameless in not having been able to break any big runs on Saturday, but I think part of it is that they need some help here in being given the opportunity to break some plays a little easier.
I might twist your head around here a little bit, Ironhead, but okay. I noticed two things last week about our run game, and that was that we were coming off the ball a lot better than we had been in a year or two. Okay, I'm cool with that. I liked how our freshmen hit the line of scrimmage with a head of steam, because it just felt like, even since Saquon, we have always been very patient, see the hole, hit the hole, go, rather than just making the hole and going.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the plan is. Are we the team who's going to smash mouth, hit the hole like our freshmen were doing last week, or this week, or is Coach Cedar saying to these guys, be patient, let the blocks happen? I don't know. So I'm interested to see where we're at, because we had 50-50 last week. With that said, the old coach is going to come out of me right now, and that is that week 1 to week 2, you've heard me say it for 3 years now. Week 1 to week 2 is literally win, lose, or draw is by far the most teaching and improvement is needed. We're going to see what kind of team we have and what kind of staff we have. 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, we'll know.
Should be even greater because you had the 9 days in between instead of 7, right? Like, I mean, it should be even more cleaned up than you would normally expect, right?
Yeah.
So I am I'm excited to see how things unfold on Saturday. Again, more with an eye toward the future and seeing how some of these guys step up and respond. And listen, again, no great insight here, but they have got to catch the football. When you have your hands on the ball, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, bring the ball in. I read an interesting stat, and I meant to write it down, and I didn't, but the yards after catch, now Brenton Strange obviously helped open that stat up pretty significantly, but the yards after catch were very, very good against Purdue. And it wasn't just Strange's run. I mean, that skewed the average a little bit, but overall, if you catch those other balls, right, like first things first, get the yards that are there. And they just left too many of those on the field against Purdue. And if you do that, again, against Michigan or Ohio State, you're going to come out on the short end of the stick. Now, the good news is, again, it was game 1. The bad news is it's been a little bit of a bugaboo now for the last couple of seasons. The lack of consistently catching the football with the receiving core.
Yes.
And the tight ends last year. So, I really want to see that group. And listen, I'm not saying no drops, right? They're human beings, but man, the opportunities are there. Take advantage of them, right? And this should be a game where that offense is able to at least in the first half, put up some pretty eye-popping numbers. Like, you should be able to take advantage of some opportunities here on Saturday, and you need to do that.
Having done the TV show on Monday with that downtown with the 2 players, with Nick Tarbert and PJ Christopher, and they know they were saying that stuff about what we're talking about. Okay, we know we need to improve. We know that we probably shouldn't have won that game. You know what I mean? It was just like they didn't lose faith, and that was a big thing. I just hope that they, and the coaches are not complacent. Like, okay, we won, we're good. It's just not. You're not good. You need to improve. And again, go back to week 1 to week 2. This is the biggest room for improvement, because maybe you tried something this year that you hadn't tried before, or maybe it was your first start ever. You had a little nerves on you, and you're not going to be nervous this week. And you need to come off the ball. And you need to play better. You need to not drop passes. I mean, how are we going to improve? Are we just going to hang our hat saying, "Oh, we're 1-0. We're playing Ohio. We should just roll our hat there," as Joe would say. You're not going to roll your hat out there. They're not going to bow down to you. This is a smaller school coming in here that can make their season by beating you.
Yeah,
and I still have 2012 in my head. With
as I think most Penn State fans do.
Opening game.
Yep.
Versus I was talking to McGloin today about it. Matt called and we were just talking a little bit back and forth, and he was like, I said, we got to get revenge for you guys, and he goes, yeah, that day sucked. I said, yes, it did, and I was just like, you guys were so hyped at 10:00 in the morning when you got to that. By 4:00 or 3 o'clock when you needed to reach down and get that extra, you didn't have it.
Yeah.
But losing that game made them stronger. So. This time on Tuesday, we're going to be – I think we'll know a lot more of the type of team that we're going to have. And, again, this is the same – it's sort of tracking like last year. Coming home from Wisconsin and, coming home from Purdue on the road in a big win, we're going to see how we're going to do with a home game. And, didn't we jump to 4 in the country after the 3 or 4 weeks last week?
Yeah.
Last year?
Well, and I think that there's a couple of things different from – last year, and listen, I was as hyped up as anybody going into that Iowa game, and even right until the injury, and even after the injury, right at that moment, I'm still high on them. I'm like, well, they're still going to win this game because, my God, they're dominating, and then obviously everything fell apart. But a couple of significant differences to me, and again, knock on wood on the injuries front, because that still has the chance to change everything. But I will say it certainly feels like this team is much better positioned to withstand injuries, including at the quarterback spot, right, as we talked about with Aller. And even Bill, right? I mean, even if your top two guys go down, I don't think it's going to be panic. It's not going to be people aren't going to be dancing in the streets over it. But I think you're still like, well, no, we can still get through the season. We still, I think they have three, at least three, but three quarterbacks that you feel pretty comfortable and pretty confident with right now as a Penn State fan. And I think, again, across the board, the overall depth, I think a linebacker would be a concern. If you got a couple of key injuries there, I think that you're not as sure. I don't feel as confident about it. Let me put it that way. I don't think most Penn State fans are as sure that they could withstand a barrage of injuries there. But everywhere else, and maybe offensive line as well. But everywhere else, right? You feel like there is some depth. Again, not that you're wishing any injuries, but I think that you're not looking at many spots and saying, all right, that would be the end of the day.
I want to see 55 guys play in this game and get significant amount of playing time, and we can make some judgments and work our way from. So before I forget this, Jeff, did you watch our TV show from Monday?
I didn't.
I'm going to find this hilarious. So I didn't know where Booch was going with this with Mustafa.
Yeah.
He's like, PJ, I have to say to you, that injury last year, and then the fact that you completely sold that injury by tearing your own ACL just to make sure that the Iowa fans knew that you were not faking that injury.
Yep.
Way to stay in
absolutely.
Way to stay in it. Way to have it. It was so funny. PJ and me, I'm looking at him. I'm like, where the hell's Booch going? Where's he going with this? It was, and then he dropped the punchline. And he goes, it was pretty damn funny. But I go back. I hated that game. God damn it. I still get mad at it. But so I want to get to the point this week where we are playing guys on the offensive line, even on the defensive line. We didn't have great pressure Saturday. We really didn't. We had
and part of it
pressure.
was
That's Purdue's offense. Purdue's offense is
part of
bang,
it is
bang,
for
bang,
sure.
Throw the ball, get in the way. So they're not going to get sacked that much. But when they had to go to a drop back, couple different progression reads and this and that, and we bought some pressure, we got it done. I would like to see some more pressure from our front four on the quarterback without having to blitz, because that would be fantastic. Some better linebacker play. And the defensive backs, they had a great game last week, but they're going to keep on getting picked on. I mean, they're going to go after Porter, and they know that he's a handsy guy. So that the Ohio coach, do we even know who that is? No, I don't know.
I did.
Okay,
and I don't right at the moment.
So you know that coach is going to those referees on Saturday and say, hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, watch this kid 9. He's really handsy. He's really handsy. That's what they do. It's what coaches do. They work for a call. And if they get that call one time, they're going to be, okay, I did my job. So defensively, we need to get straight a little bit. Offensively, I would like to see some better run blocking from our tight ends, having to watch the game again the other day. Some of our offensive linemen who were in and out being replaced by a couple. We played, I believe, about 7 guys. I'd like to see about 9 guys getting some significant action this week. Again, we'll know Tuesday what kind of team we're going to have because who is going to make this happen for themselves on Saturday to earn that playing time for the rest of the year. My feeling. Quarterback play. I would like to see Aller get a couple series with the first team. I really do. And I don't think that's a knock or a slight against Sean Clifford, but why not get him out there to get some significant playing time?
I'm with you. I'll be very surprised if it happens. Really? I'm with you. Okay. Yeah, I just don't think it has not been Franklin's MO from day one.
Yeah.
And which isn't to say, again, maybe it's because they didn't have a backup the caliber of Aller. I mean, that's fair enough.
With Matt. Remember Brian was doing that?
Yeah.
And Bill had the NFL mindset was like, Tom Brady starts a game. Tom Brady's going to finish that game no matter how many points they're up. And he had that mentality going in there, and it was just, oh, my God, what if he gets hurt? Stop it. So, all right, I got to ask you, Ironhead.
Yeah.
I see the Fanatics released. Booch calls me this morning, and he goes, what the hell's going on? I mean, they have the NIL Nike Penn State jerseys for sale. And they have the one that they're advertising is Drew Aller's number 15 jersey.
Yeah.
But they have his freaking name on it. That's not a replica jersey. That's not a jersey, in my opinion. That's not what we have, so why would you put his name on that? Give him the money, but just don't have to put his – that's not our jersey. I mean –
well, but without his name, people are going to argue,
say what? That's Phil Yeboah Cody.
Exactly. That's a Yeboah Cody jersey.
That's a Frankie Yeboah Cody jersey from '93. I know it. I knew it all along. No, you're – I know. I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
But it's not what we have, Josie. Wow. Paul. It's not our jersey. So is that really?
Yes.
Defense. That's the other thing that drives me crazy. We all have the same numbers on offense and defense, and it's not just us. Everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Doesn't it drive you crazy?
It does, but I mean, what am I going to do about it?
I'm like, dude, we got a kid 44 playing tight end and defensive end right now. Holy crap, he's white and black. Holy crap, it's unbelievable. This guy's making things
little
happen.
Guy and the great big wide-shouldered.
It really is going to be this coming Tuesday, Jeff. We're going to have a real good feel for this team, I think. It's not going to be for lack of effort.
I think we'll have a better feel. I still think
better. Yes.
Yeah, I think Auburn. And listen, after last season, again, I'm going to wait till the whole thing plays out before I make any grand proclamations, because I was absolutely convinced last year going into that Iowa game that was a team destined for another Big Ten title and the whole bit. I mean, I really was. And listen, I still think that this team this year has that type of potential. I really do. I think the talent overall is there, but do you have enough talent in a couple of the key spots? And number one is always his offensive line. And I don't know.
We're bullish 1 year ahead. I mean, it's the same type of program. We're going down that same road right now.
But here's the thing. So I think if you're able to at least establish some confidence with the running game, which again you better be able to do against Ohio on Saturday, then you set yourself up to at least test yourself and get some sort of a definitive answer against Auburn in terms of, okay, have we made significant progress, we as an offensive line, from that Purdue game through the Auburn game? And yes, you're looking for improvement this week. Again, I just think it's tough to measure how good that progress is. I mean, they can rush for 300 yards, and I don't know that you necessarily say, well, they're clearly better than they were against Purdue, right? Like, the eye test will tell you some of that and, breaking down the film. But until you do it against a team the caliber of Auburn or better, I think,
I'm killing you right now. Do you remember who week 2 was last year? Was it Villanova or was that after Auburn? I know, I'm killing you right now. If you don't know, you don't know. But
who else was in there? There was somebody else in there too, right?
That this could be deemed a trap game. You had the opening game on national television, Fox.
Well, I will say that was a good win for Ohio over Florida Atlantic. I mean that is not an insignificant W for Ohio to get.
If we got our guys going to Auburn next weekend.
Yeah, I am presuming that the whole 9 days to get ready, and this team knows that it has to improve. Yeah, I will be the first to say if this team isn't dialed in on Saturday, this could be a dangerous game. But the talent gap is there. But if you are walking out there as a Penn State player saying, yep, this is just, then they could be in real trouble real fast.
I didn't think of the game the other night. I was like,
but the thing that I keep coming back to with this team, and I'll come back to it until I'm proven wrong on it, is that senior leadership that I keep harping on. And I don't think Sean Clifford and P.J. Mustipher and Jair Brown and all these guys, I just don't think they're going to let the mind wander this week. To your point with the TV show on Monday, these guys know darn well that this is not a program with where it's at right now that can afford to be overlooking anybody.
I gave PJ our sentiments the other night. I said, listen, man, this team went backwards when you went down because there was nobody there was nobody who was going to get in anybody's face because this is a weird to bring this up, but Paul Posluszny is probably he was the first 2-time captain in Penn State, one of the first since the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Puz wasn't a great leader his senior year because he was a leader because of what he did. He didn't have to say anything because the year before he had Michael Robinson and Alan Zamitis. He didn't have to be a vocal leader. He didn't understand how to be a vocal leader. So there's a guy like I'm not calling Paul out at all whatsoever. But a guy like PJ,
there's different types of leaders.
There's different types of leaders.
Yeah.
And PJ is definitely one of those guys who is an Alan Zamitis, Michael Robinson type who's going to he demands respect because he's going to ask for that respect, and he's going to tell you, you're going to effing respect me, and you're going to effing listen to what the hell I'm going to effing tell you to do. You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy who, like a Paul, would be like, I'm just going to go out there and play 1 million miles an hour, and everybody's going to see me doing that, and they're going to follow. So getting PJ back and having Sean back as the offensive guy, and you can tell our guys, they react well to Sean Clifford. They really do.
There's no question about that. I think that
he's a heck of a leader, and he's a good thing. It's a good thing. I like again. God damn it, we're going down a route again, Ironhead. We're going down the bullish route. Again, this time last year we were already in the top 10, so we're still not even in the top 25. So we need to do this again and again and again. Maybe that's what they're using. Maybe that's the chip on their shoulder. You have to have something to aim for and get back in the top 25. Go down to Auburn next week. I'll be unranked. I don't care. Just go down there and whip somebody's ass. But it's just step 2 towards your goal. And I think we have the senior leadership, like you said before, to do that. You cannot compete. You can't teach leadership. And we have very good leadership.
Yeah. That is the one thing I am that in the secondary, the two things I'm not concerned about with this team. Everything else that I have some varying degree of concern about at this stage of the season, but I also don't have anything where I'm in panic mode. I mean, the offensive line again. There was some improvement there. There are some things I think that you can take and like about the performance against Purdue, but it's still very much a work in progress. And certainly if this is a team that wants to legitimately contend for a Big Ten title or a playoff spot, that group has to improve pretty dramatically between now and the meat of the Big Ten schedule, starting at the kind of mid-October.
I completely agree, man.
But I think, again, everything else to me is in place
we're
right
growing
now.
Bullhorns right now, buddy.
Well, and I will say, listen, the Pac-12 obviously off to a rough start here for the season, losing a couple of marquee matchups, and then And that Oregon game, again, it wasn't just that you lost it. It was that game was never, ever competitive or in any way in doubt. And I think that's and I do think Oregon is one of the top 2 or 3 teams anyway in the Pac-12. So that does not bode well.
It didn't look like they deserve to be in the same field
for that conference. And I think that's going to help hasten the complete demise of the Pac-12. I really do, because I think those schools are not looking at this saying, okay, well, we're, it stinks that we lost USC and UCLA, but man, we're going to study this shit. I think they're looking at it saying, oh, crap.
Yeah, they're looking at
this is looking, this is looking kind of
dire. What was
dire.
the first thing you felt? And this goes back to your prior conversation with what you just said. Like the fact that LSU's playing in Louisiana, Georgia's playing in Atlanta. I mean, it's tough for these teams to go in and play these teams, and especially these SEC teams, which these great teams. So
yeah,
when they announced 12 playoff teams, and they said 4 will have byes, and then there's 4. The next 4 will have. What did you think? What did your first thing you thought? I know what I did. I cannot wait for a West Coast team or a Southern team having to come up
SEC
and play
especially
in the North.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wisconsin on December 14th. Enjoy. It's a really nice time of year around here. The water comes off the isthmus, very, very nice at that time. This time of year. So that's the first thing I thought about. So Oregon had to go down there, play in Georgia versus Georgia, and they got completely buzzsawed. I mean, that's the SEC MO. It's like they weren't ready to go. So it's. Until somebody takes down the SEC, I know we don't want to go down the SEC route, but you know what I'm saying, though, with the whole Oregon, and they just were not ready to play that game, and they jumped into that buzzsaw down there, and yikes. So I hope that we can do that to Ohio this weekend. Do we have the ability to go out and buzzsaw them and try to end this quick? I think it could happen. I think it's going to happen. My prediction says that we're going to do that, but I'm also a glass is always full guy.
Well, and listen, one of the things that I think Penn State has to do to make that happen is create some turnovers and then capitalize on it, and obviously not turn the ball over yourself. Take care of business. And this is a game where you should be able to win that turnover battle, right? Sure. Again, you have more better athletes. I mean, at the end of the day, and they should be able to go out and make plays. But part of it is, again, you can't be careless and reckless on the offensive side and just think that anything is going to be handed to you.
Let's just hope we hear a lot of wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it too. It'll be taking Reg up, so we got our tickets secured, and he's excited about it, and it'll be fun. It's these games are fun for that opportunity as well, to get the youngsters in there and take advantage of it's not as tough a ticket to get.
I said it was one of the things I talked to Pat about the last time he and I were together before this interview, was talking about, hey man, we're starting to luse this younger generation of kids, like the kids that are Reggie's age, the kids that are 6 to 12 years old. Like, hey man, this you need to make this important to them. Not playing on video games is not going to be important. I want to go see a Penn State game, and I hope we're not pricing these people out. So one of the things I told Pat, I said, and you and I have talked about this off the air. We have Military Appreciation Day, where if you have season tickets and you're not using them, you can donate them back, and they are donated to a military family. I think you could do that with people who want to bring kids in there, people who have kids under 10 years old. Why wouldn't you do that? Get a free ticket for a kid, and it's buy one, get one, mom and dad and, the kid coming or 2 kids coming. It's something we need to create this next generation. I'm happy. Is he jacked up?
He is. Yeah. And we started flag football last night. So he's,
has he been before?
I don't think he's been to, we've been to the blue white game, of course, a couple times.
That's because of the carnival.
I don't think he's been, he definitely hasn't been with me, and I can't imagine. I don't think he's been to
awesome.
again. I'm about 99% sure that this will be his first actual game.
Right there, man.
Yeah, it'll be.
This is something my dad did for me.
Yeah. No, it'll be a lot of
20
fun.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. 18.
Not bad.
18, 19, 20, That's cool, though. You make sure you stop by, please.
Oh, yeah. No, we will.
Like, Reggie, I'll throw you the football. Your dad's going to be over here shotgunning beers over here.
NFL, Goon, what do you – I am curious to see how this game tonight unfolds. I don't like that everybody's on the bandwagon that I've been on. Listen, I thought the Bills were winning it last year. It seems like everybody has the Bills this year, and it is just so rare when a team that has this much hype actually ends up following through.
Much hype. Everybody on the NFL Network had them.
Everybody. Everybody on ESPN. I'm like, I know there are a few picks out there with other teams, but even the ones that are picking against the Bills, I haven't seen anybody that doesn't have the Bills at least in the AFC Championship game, right? Like, I mean, there is nobody that doesn't have at least that. And listen, I think with good reason. I mean, I think that was the best team in the NFL last year. Overall consistency throughout the course of the season, and again, you got to get it done when you got to get it done, and they didn't. So I'm not arguing that, but I still think that's the best roster. I think it's a terrific coaching staff, as good a staff as there is, and I think now it's a hungrier team even than it's been the last couple of years.
A bunch of losers. I don't know where the hell those guys are from, but
listen, this is a tough. They're favored tonight against the Rams. Yes, and on the road and against the Super Bowl champions with all the pomp and circumstance that comes with that tonight. But it does tell you just how much respect there is out there for the Bills and what the expectations are.
The adage is that when you're on the road, so when Ohio comes to
Penn State,
it's 3 points. It's
2.5, 3 points.
Points. So I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I saw 2.5 Buffalo with 2.5. I was like, oh, they're playing up in Buffalo.
No.
And then it did it until I came in today, and I saw them advertising the game tonight, and I was like, that's not Buffalo. But it's already snowing in Buffalo. So, I mean, in essence, they think that Buffalo is 5 to 5.5 to 6 points better than the defending Super Bowl champions. Now, they lost OBJ?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Tackle.
They did not lose a whole lot off of that.
And they lost
roster.
Von Miller. I mean, that's obviously 3 absolute studs right there.
Miller,
Whitworth, Von Miller, and OBJ. They're 3 very, very great players, but they're replaceable. I mean, the fact that Buffalo comes in. I mean, Buffalo lost last year on that overtime when Allen didn't get the ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might be that total commitment thing. I mean, I know McDermott.
Well, I do think. Yeah, I know. I do think. I mean, I think it's completely justified that Buffalo is the overwhelming favorite. Wow. I just again, there's a lot of really good teams out there, though, and it's not.
It's a sucker line.
It's not a.
Everybody and their mom's going to take LA, and Buffalo's going to run them out.
I did see while I was up in the early wee morning hours. I flipped over to Van Pelt. I was watching Van Pelt, and he is taking in the Survivors pool Cincinnati this week, which is who the Steelers open at. And I think that's a good pick.
He took the Bengals over the Steelers
as the Survivor, like that's the opening out. Well, but here's the thing: you have. I mean, I don't think it's a ludicrous. I haven't looked at all the other matchups, but I don't think it's a ludicrous.
Nothing's over 6 points.
Yeah, but I mean the Bengals. That is a really good team, and the difference. I mean, in the NFL, you start at quarterback, right? And I'm hoping all the best for Trubisky, and I'm okay with him being the starter here to start the season and all of that. But I mean, it's Trubisky and Burrow, dude. I mean, come on.
What? Like I didn't watch. What did Tomlin say yesterday? There was a mistake where on the depth chart.
I think he was just saying that they didn't want to. He wanted it to be an or. I don't think it was actually. I mean,
he wanted it to be an or.
That's what that's was
okay,
my
so I took it as I thought they put Kenny Pickett down at third, and I was like, what the hell? Who the hell? So okay, that makes sense to me now. A lot more sense
just to
me
keep
right
the guessing game going. But
hey, that's half the battle, man. That's a ballsy call on SVP. I mean, that's just why even put yourself out there. Just avoid that game. You got 15 other games you could pick.
Yeah, but I have to look at the sky. I don't know if you were in are you in a survivor pool?
Yeah,
We're kind of in.
I'm in
a
one,
pseudo
I'm in
one.
one twice, so I was like, I could pick two teams.
So who do you have this week?
All right, I went through it last night.
I'm trying to. I don't even know what the other games are besides tonight's game. Which I mean you'd stay away from that one. I would think.
The Lions-Eagles scares the crap out of me because the Lions. I don't know if I just watched Hard Knocks too much and it fell. I fall in love with the team on Hard Knocks every year. I like Carolina over Cleveland. I think I have the 49ers over the Bears. Jaguars, Commanders, I wouldn't. And I'm talking about just in general versus just a survivor pool type of thing.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you on the
Ravens.
The 49ers Bears feels pretty good.
The Chiefs Cardinals I wouldn't avoid, but Giants I in my mind last night Tennessee over the Giants would have been my survivor pick.
See, I think the Giants could be it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, would certainly
we don't know. We have no idea what's going to come out of it.
Take the Titans. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a team I'm really interested in.
I don't think there's any of those games, I guess is my point. Yeah.
I really want to see what the hell they do.
Me too.
It's Tua is got a lot of pressure on him right now because they put a lot of toys around him. And he better get that ball to those guys, to those toys, because to let them make plays. I mean, we're talking about, the cheetah out there.
I'd like to take Tampa over Dallas.
Let's get rid of Dallas in general. I mean, that's just.
I'd like to do that. I wouldn't actually, but that would be my.
In other big state college news, just announced today that the basketball team is going back to the Palestra.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really look. Yeah, I saw.
I don't know if they put the wrong date down, but it's January 8th, 2023, which is a Sunday. And I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. I just maybe that they just screwed the date up a little bit. But I'll still go because I have been to the last two. And the Palestra is my favorite place in the world to watch a basketball game. It's not an easy place to watch a basketball game. It's almost like if you're not from the Philadelphia area, you don't understand what the hell the Palestra is about. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But to me, the Palestra is the absolute mecca of just like, holy crap. And it's just like, I'll go down Goon story here. We'll go down to a Goon story for you. So Temple 94, we're playing down there. We're driving down Franklin Field.
Franklin.
And I'm walking on Franklin Field, and everybody else is like, "This place is an absolute shithole. It's a dump. This and that. The locker room. You didn't have a locker. You had a nail on a four,
just to hang on
a 2x4, like down 100 feet. So you had 100 guys' suits hanging on nails, so that was your locker. And all my teammates, this place sucks. It's a shithole. I just can't believe it, and this and that. And I'm like, oh my god. Chuck Bednarik played here. This is the greatest freaking place. Holy Jesus God. Chuck Bednarik was here. Oh my God. Do you think do you think he took a dump in that? Oh my God. And my teammates are like, this place sucks. It's horrible. I don't know what. And I was so enamored by it. I was like, this is awesome. Because it was right next to the Palestra, and going to the Palestra and seeing this big building, and I was like, this place is great. And it was just so funny that the teammates were like, this is the worst place we have ever played. But every one of them will still say it. Easily the worst locker room we had. Notre Dame's a pretty bad locker room, but it was easily the worst locker room we had ever been in there. But no doubt about it. Tommy McDonald had 32 interceptions in one game while dressing on that and putting his suit on that nail. So I feel like people who don't understand what the Palestra is, did we figure this out, that the man who created or
the same architect.
Same
of the
architect
Palestra
did Cameron Indoor, Rec Hall. There's a fourth one, but the Palestra is the third one, and it's just awesome. So I was down at Michigan State. I just can't believe Purdue lined up for it. We've beaten Michigan, a ranked Sparty there, and then we beat a ranked Iowa team there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Larry Fall talking to me. He goes, there's no one in the Big Ten who's going to want to come play us here. There's absolutely nobody who wants to play us. No doubt about it. Yeah. Well, McCaffrey's played at the Palestra. He played at Penn.
Yeah.
Iowa's coach. So it meant something to him out there. I don't know how much it meant to his players, but, So
not much now.
If you've never gone down to the Palestra to see a Penn State game, I highly recommend it. Now, if it is that Sunday, the Eagles are playing at 1 o'clock. The Eagles are playing the Giants, and I'm like, I know it's a different part of the city, but it's still the same expressways to get there. And I'm like, it's going to be a mess down there. So I don't know, and I don't know if they released the wrong date because I can't imagine the game being Sunday when the last two have been on a Saturday.
Yeah, that is. I didn't pick up on that. I'm going to tell you right now.
My buddy Tommy and I. So I said, Tommy, we're playing down in the Palestra. He goes, give me 2 seats because. He and I had to buy 4 seats because that's how small the seats are. It was unbelievable. So do you know the story of what happened down there last time we were playing? It was so hot. It was a hotter day in February that the condensation was building up on the court.
Yeah.
And Saz, the basketball trainer, he told me on the side, he goes, like a week or two later, he was like, they were going to, like the refs were like, listen, if this stays, this game is over. We cannot put these players.
Yeah.
So Saz goes, well, we have fans in the locker room. Why don't we just put those out there? Puts the fans out there on the court, blows them right on the court. Wasn't an issue. Huh. So it took a Penn State trainer to go out there, and it took the Saz man to go out there and straighten
those
stuff
Penn
up.
State smarts coming through again.
Man, they had the. It's so cool because there's like a sort of like a atrium field to the top, and they had the windows open, and that's where the heat was coming in. I was like, Jesus. Because it was like a T-shirt shorts type of February day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Now watch you go down there next time. It'll be like minus 18 degrees.
It could be, too. You never.
I believe it was
was
January. I believe it was right around New Year's. That's when it was. I think that game was. So, yeah. So everybody listening out there, if you ever have a chance to go to the Palestra, especially versus Penn State versus Purdue, and it is Painter and Shrew. That is their head-to-head competition. No, they played this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Predictions for the weekend. We'll do Steelers, Eagles, and Penn State predictions.
I got Penn State up pretty good. I got us going 58-17. That's the score I picked on the Nitwits this week. I just feel like it's the second time running this exact. We're going down that same path of last year. I hope we've learned from our mistakes and build from them and just go out and smack them around. Not looking forward to Auburn. Get the game over with, get some backups in. Nobody hurt, go down to Auburn, play that game. Steelers, I'm never going to say the Steelers aren't going to win but the Cincinnati Bengals are damn good, and I don't know what they have coming back. I mean, are they 100%? Is Burrow? He missed a lot of camp with the appendix. So it's still the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't think there's any hope or any chance, but one of the few times that I go into a season opener expecting and feeling like my Steelers are going to lose.
So I like the Eagles over Detroit, even though Detroit everybody their mother's loving right now. So by the way, I know you're going to get to your picks after you're done here. So the Pirates played the Mets yesterday, a doubleheader.
Yep.
Jeff, how long do you think your starting pitchers lasted?
Much shorter than DeGrom. They could have doubled their combined time and not been out there as long as DeGrom.
They played 2 games.
Yeah.
2 games is what a doubleheader is.
Yeah.
Booch, did you have a guess? Total. Yeah. 2.2.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh starters with 2.2 innings.
But at least
total in 2 games.
I hope they each get one apiece.
I mean, did you start your closer? Is that what happened here? I don't know.
But listen, when you get the offense going the way the Pirates have, though, you can afford to have some.
I'm
some
sorry,
Jeff.
I forgot to bring it up earlier.
They almost
the Pirates.
They actually almost did get a runner in scoring position against DeGrom.
Oh my Lord! I heard that this morning, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" So Do you like your Steelers? Or you like your Birds? Like Penn State? What you got?
So I do think Penn State will win big. I think I have it 48-14. So we're in the same neighborhood. I do have the Steelers losing, and I would love to be proven wrong on that. But I just think Cincinnati at home, and it's the line play at the end of the day. So I have the Bengals winning that one. I think it'll be a decent game, but I have the Bengals winning at 24-17. Yeah, I think the Bengals O-line is improved. I'm not sure about the Steelers. I'm hoping the Steelers – I'm hoping the Steelers O-line improves, but we'll see. And I do think the Eagles will take care of business against the Lions. I do.
Dave Campbell's everybody's favorite player right now. Everybody's favorite coach right now.
Yeah.
Bucci.
So, all right, Booch, what do you have?
Yeah, Pennsylvania sweep. Nittany Lions win comfortably.
Patrick?
Eagles win. And I got the Steelers winning too. Super Bowl hangover is a
Man.
real thing for the loser, in my opinion.
It can be.
Yeah, the last 16 quarterbacks who lost their Super Bowl debut never got back.
Does that go back to
Yeah, I mean, it is never a
it goes
given.
back. No.
Well, Marino.
It goes
never-
back to Stan Humphries, but John Elway is in between Marino and
Oh, yeah.
Humphries.
Okay. So he watched the whole Marino thing. All right, man.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Yeah, it's so funny how obviously nobody's repeated in what I think the longest. We're now in the longest stretch from a team repeating since the Super Bowl era, and
Patriots.
Patriots were the last one, but the I go back so many times. You see a team that you think is emerging, and it's like, oh yeah, man, they're going to be there. And it's just like the Bills right now. Like I think the Bills are built for long-term success, but if they don't get there this season, who knows how quickly? Especially in this era of football, things change so quickly. Because I know when the Steelers beat the Cardinals, I'm like, I'm glad they beat them this year, but man, the Cardinals are going to be back. That's a team that's going to be here for the next 3 or 4 years. Well, no, not so much. And part of it is too, it's just really hard to get there, man. There's a lot of really good coaches, a lot of really good players, and a lot of really good teams. And we talk about it all the time, Goon, and we go back to that 79 Penn State team that you can have the exact same. Well, you go to Tampa Bay last year. Tampa Bay had everybody back from the year before. But it's just not this year. But it's just a different dynamic. No matter, and the roster is never exactly the same. But even if you had the exact same roster, there's different dynamics, different things that are happening in people's lives. Like it's not, that's why you try to seize the moment when it's there, and good metaphor for life. Hey, things may be going great today and it may fall apart tomorrow, or vice versa, and you just got to keep grinding and do what you can. And it's the same thing in football. I do like the Bills. I mean, that would be my pick this year too, but I'm really, really uncomfortable with it because everybody
Bills,
is on it.
Eagles Bills. So I just saw on the bottom line up there on one of the televisions here at the Lube, Dabo Sweeney, 10 years, 115 extension.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's not bad
today.
money if you can get it. Not bad. Not bad. So you got the Bills in the Super Bowl. I got the Bills. I don't know. Who am I rooting for? Bills if they play the Eagles. I mean, come on. It's your best friend's coaching. Oh, man. Listen to El Boucher over here. Come on, Boucher.
No mercy.
No mercy. So you
No
go for the
mercy.
Bills then, huh?
And good luck to
Is this the year? Is this the year Pittsburgh and Philadelphia play the Super Bowl?
No.
Damn it.
Definitely not
Good luck
this
who?
year. I'd love
State High.
love
Big
to
win for
see
you
it.
last week.
Yeah, great win for State High
Noble
last week.
Noble hasn't shown up for a job in a week now. Damn it, Noble.
All right. We will be back
show.
on
Good show.
Tuesday. We'll talk much more about Penn State and what we see this coming weekend. Hope everybody enjoys all of the football over the course of the next 4 days. We will be back to talk about it all on Tuesday. Until then, be good and be safe.